who a PhD who studies sexual behavior, and he said that gay people are no more sexually fast or slutty as our straight counterparts.
Wow.
You know, but I think that because we are so uncomfortable, especially in the black community, to talk about sex, and because we have to learn about sex sometimes from our peers, and because we don't get that information from our parents. Sometimes, I know I didn't, my parents not teach me about sex. I got to learn on my own as well as my cousins and stuff I read in the bathroom bowls.
Wow.
That's how I learned about sex. I didn't really have somebody sit me down and say the do's and don'ts of having sex. But as far as, let me ask you something. Do you think that in the lesbian community that lesbians are driven more about sex or sexual activity than a straight women?
I could be being biased, but my perspective on it, I think that it could be a multitude of different factors. I think some of the age differences could play a part. Most times women are sometimes can be a little more reserved in some instances, and then you have some that are just as, outright aggressive as a man. But the thing that I'll say here is that, the development of a relationship, I would say most times with women start more from a social perspective of trying to get to know each other more so than just sleeping with them. Okay. So in most aspects, I feel that man and woman, your one night stands and those situations and stuff like that can occur probably a lot quicker than woman to woman.
Really? Okay.
That's just my perspective.
Okay. I think that,
Because,
society has always accepted two women being in a relationship and they're sexually connected than they have two men. And I still don't think that societies are comfortable with two men having sex. But I think it's time for society to, the general population, to get more comfortable with people loving who they want to love. And with love comes intimacy. With intimacy comes, all the benefits that come with sharing your body and your bed with one person. I think that if you look at the data that I've researched and found out that the experts have said that really our straight counterparts are more sexually active than we are as the gay lesbian community. And so I'm hoping that some of our listeners will call in and kind of give their input about that. I know when I was married, I had a very, very sexual appetite for my wife, and we had a very healthy sex life. But once I crossed over and started sleeping with men, it seemed like my sex life did increase a whole lot more.
do you think maybe because, your wife, at that point, how long had you been married?
I had been married, I was married for almost 9 years.
Before you started?
I got married when I got married at 18, and she was my first, I was a virgin, she was a virgin. So I really didn't have a lot of experience before I got married. I wanted to be a virgin when I got married. But even though the 9 years of marriage, I never cheated on her. Because we had a healthy sex life, and I loved her, and I really kind of believed in monogamy. So I really didn't cheat on my wife in 9 years. So that said a lot about me, still pat myself on the back.
But the thing
let me take it back, I'm lying, because toward the end of my marriage, when I started exploring my own sexuality, is when I started cheating.
Right.
When I started creeping out.
Let me ask you this though. So the thing is, you were married, and then you said your sex life increased, and it may have something to do with the fact that you went from having one person to have an opportunity of having multiple experiences with more than one person. So maybe they create your appetite and increase your appetite.
But when I was having sex with men and was married to my female wife, I didn't look at what I was doing as cheating on her.
But let's kind of pull back towards the actual act of having sex though. Like as far as with your wife, would you say you were having more sexual activity man to man than what you were having with your wife?
Yes, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
So you kind of be a part of your own topic here. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it, it's like, but I'm not necessarily going to put you in a box and try to stereotype you and say, well, maybe it was because you were going to this dynamic you know, you never went with another female in that direction as you did with your wife.
No, I did. Even though after my marriage ended, I've always had a high sex drive, and even today, as an older brother, I still have a high sex drive. But somehow, when I was married for 9 years, I kind of controlled it until the very end of the marriage.
But when you were with your wife, you had active sex life.
Oh, we had a very active sex life. She got pregnant like 5 times, you know, and she stayed knocked up.
Wow.
You know,
she gave birth.
She stayed knocked up. So,
oh my God.
boom! I'm like, and so, you know, but we were crossed over, and then after the divorce, I still dated women. I still was very active on both sides. As a bisexual male, I still was getting with both women and men at the same time. But then after I decided to abort the female side of trying to have women into my mess and started exclusively having sexually intimate with men, then I find myself to have more choices.
Well, you know, the thing is here, one thing, we talked about this in our little group, our friend group we had the other day, about how sometimes the lesbian community, the women, is looked at having deathbed sex, where things just kind of plummet, like they peak and then they drop off. So from the woman's side, you know, woman to woman, versus maybe what you'll find more so between, you know, but it happens even in the straight community, that you know, times where the sexual experience decreases. So I just feel like more so that things have become more stereotyped because of the factor of, I think it's really been probably more targeted toward men in the alternative community. And then it's put in this hole that is just because of the gay community.
Right. Because you know, men think sometimes with their private parts. I got a buddy right now who's straight, and every weekend he goes to an orgy. Every weekend, yes.
Come on, baby. Spit all one out.
And he goes to an orgy every Saturday night, and he tells me that he goes to his orgy, maybe 5 guys and 7 women there. But it's in his budget to go to an orgy.
He's budgeting for ass.
Budgeting for ass. And he's proud of it. He said, yep, I just got home with an orgy. And then I got another girlfriend, a straight girl, and she is part of the swingers community. Wow. Do you know how big the swingers community are?
Oh, yes, it is.
It's huge. But we don't hear about it. It's very hush-hush and very underground. And then the gay community, the male gay side, there's right now, I could probably take you to 10 different sex parties. I got buddies here in Atlanta who are living large because they operate 24-hour sex clubs where you go in and you have sex.
It's private club.
You pay that $10. It's not private. You pay $10. You go in and you have sex.
I've never been to a sex club.
I have been to a sex club. You know me.
So you've explored?
I've been to a sex club.
We got somebody here that has some interest here. Hold on.
Okay, what we got? We got somebody who will talk to us?
I think so. We got a caller on the line. I got you unmuted. Who we got there? Let me see. You there? Try it again, Jazzy?
Yes, Jazzy. Hi, guys.
Hey, Jazzy.
You know I was interested in your part of this conversation.
I'm sure.
You're undercover freak.
Tell us what's on your mind.
Well, you know what? I was listening to what you both talking about the differences and the possibilities of, the male and the female counterparts of the LGBTQ community wanting sex more. And even if they are given the statistics showing that heterosexuals have more sex than our counterparts do. But I think it goes back to what you guys were saying initially.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And in the statement that's made about male and female in the LGBTQ community, I personally have found more women that say that, you know, initially they're excited about having sex, you have all this budding sex, and everybody's loving each other, and then halfway in, or not even halfway in, it starts to fizzle out. Most of the time, what I found is more the women that are going through premenopause or menopausal, and their appetites are not as aggressive as they once were.
But you know what, Jasmine? Let me ask you this.
Definitely there,
Uh-huh.
definitely there in our community and a widespread community, but I think it's just some differences between male and female.
Gotcha. So do you feel like when you were saying about ladies being premenopausal, typically that age can be as early as 34, 35 in spring?
You know, on rare cases, it can be very early 30s, but primarily it's around 40. At 40, you start going into a lot of women in premenopausal stage. But definitely on into your being mid-40s, 50s, and even some 60s, depending on when you started your period. It's just like a woman that generally starts later in life, she goes to menopause later in life. So I think some of those things are reasons why the sex drive may be lower in lesbians than it is in the male counterpart. But, you know, there again, I think it's really the exploration, the communication between one another that's going to give you a hunger. Tell a person what you want, how you want it. It's a lot easier to have an active sex life, whether you're LGBTQ or straight, when you have an open communication about what you want.
You know, I think that that's some good information, but I think that we need to be able to go to the doctor and talk to people about when our body starts to change.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, I know when we go through menopause, when they go through the change of life, whatever they want to call it, it does impact how they feel about their bodies, themselves, and their sex drive really slows down. I remember having aunts who would always say, ew, I ain't been moist in so long, and a lot of that because of their bodies going through changes.
Right.
And they no longer have a desire to have sex. But at the same time that you hear about women in their 70s who are giving birth to babies, especially in Brazil and other countries, or who I think Larry King. Larry King is what, 87 years old, and he got a 5-year-old son. I read recently that Hugh Hefner had to be 110 years old.
About 200.
He's about 200, and he's marrying this 26-year-old girl.
Man, you know Hugh Hefner must have a lifetime prescription.
Viagra.
Boy, he probably got an IV on his bed.
And you know, Viagra calls a pill like $20 a pill, but he's a billionaire, so.
They probably send it to him.
He probably got
label.
You know.
Does this show still come on? I don't think his show comes on.
The reality show?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen
It's
it.
been a long time since I've seen it.
When you see how many chicks he had in his house?
He's a freak.
He probably got 5 kids.
But you know, I love the old man. I hope that I can live to be 99.9 years old and live that hard and have all them fine specimens of human flesh around me all the time. You know, look at the fact that I just put up. It says here that according to a survey that was asked of 252,900 people, that are straight people. They asked 252,900 straight people, have you ever had a sexual encounter with someone of the same sex? And almost a quarter of those, how many a quarter of two?
What was the number?
252,000. A quarter, that would be what? About 100,000? 75,000? Said yes.
Wow.
They have had a sexual encounter with someone of the same sex. Again, I think that if we just be more open about sexuality, I think we really find out a lot about people's behavior. You remember the other day when we had a little get together, one of our members said that he didn't believe in monogamy.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He just felt that my heart would.
He didn't feel like we were made
for that.
We
should be able to just have what we want to and be in a relationship with multiple partners.
But you know what? Probably a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, but they're afraid to say it. Because they're afraid that people may look at them and say, oh, you just nasty.
Jasmine, would you like to add in any more additional things here before we log you out of there?
Oh, well, I was just going to say on that note, and then I'll get off, but on that note, I think
And thank you for all the love I'm getting. I want you to tune in because we want to get you involved in this conversation. Does the gay community, does the LGBTQ community have more sex than our straight heterosexual counterpart? According to my research, Sonny, it seems to me that no. It seems like our straight counterparts are probably a little bit more out there wild than we are.